Hello and welcome to Assemblies of the World with me, Anna Isabel. And I am so delighted to introduce to you somebody very, very special today. Her name is Elsje Kitchenbrand. And the reason that Elsje is so very special is because she is a member of our Cabby Healing Hub. And she is one of the co-founders of a marvelous group called Waste Wellness. Hello, Elsje.
Hello. Hi, Anna. It's lovely to see you. Lovely to share space and time.
The very first time that we met was on the phone when I'd heard about Waste Wellness and was so excited and phoned you to hear all about it. And
Oh dear, I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
you inspired me so much, and gave me the idea to create the Healing Hub that is part of the Community Assemblies of the British Isles.
Well, it's a wonderful resource. I mean, I can't believe, I can't believe all the things that have come out of that.
Yeah, but
It's
you're the inspiration
brilliant.
for it. And I
Oh wow,
remember us
wow. That's
talking.
that's big. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it's because we started talking and I could hear the passion that you had for what you created. And I was so impressed with this extraordinary achievement. And we could have talked for hours from that
Yeah,
moment on, and it's still the same.
it
So
is.
I think you had best explain to the audience what Ways to Wellness actually is. So tell us, how did it come about, and what is it that it wants to do?
Okay. Well, let me start with how it came about. It during COVID times, I think everybody was feeling quite despondent, and um, I was working at Greenwise, a refill shop, and we were just hearing more and more of people who couldn't get to the NHS, couldn't get seen. People were getting more and more sick and despondent, and it was just that whole sense of despair. Um, And I'm very, very fortunate. I have a group of friends here locally who are all therapists. And so we started with something that we called Greenwise Tasters. And it literally was for a fiver, come in and try out. And there was like hand massage, and somebody was doing reflexology, and somebody else was doing kinesiology, and so on. So we literally moved things around in the shop, um, but also met up with some people from Stand in the Park. And Monica, who was my co-founder, our co-founder. Oh, what have I just done?
It's okay. You're fine.
Okay. Anyway, and she was equally passionate, but she was coming at it from a different angle. She was coming at it, I think, more structured, more organized. Um, And so we started having these meetings at Ashted Garden Nursery Centre. And we had a really nice big group. I think Monica had all the contacts of people who um, were inspired um, to talk about being awake and what that means, and how to support or protect people for the freedom of choice, I suppose, at the bottom, at the end of the day. Um, I've personally found it um, a lot of shouting, but not enough doing. And I'm a bit of a doer. And so we dubbed ourselves the Coddywomplers. To coddywomple is to stride purposefully in an unknown direction. And we thought that was very apt because we didn't know where we were going to end up, but we felt we had to do something. And so after a couple of meetings, we thought, right, okay, we need to start doing more specific stuff. So then The other people joined us. So Monica, who is a fantastic person, apart from, practitioner and therapist, she's got so many strings to her bow. I'm in awe of people like you and her. And, I feel a little bit like I'm a jack of many trades, but, and when we were having the meeting about what each one of us can bring, what can we bring to this Cottywomple group? And I felt my superpower was enthusiasm. And to a degree, I think I'm still that. I'm still the the one that cheers us on when we kind of flag a little. But anyway, so we started off doing some more green wise tasters, and we got a bit more structured. And I mean, in the beginning, everything was on bits of paper, and our advertising was on a bit of paper. And then we aimed at Village Day to be our announcement, open day. And Monica had fantastic contact. So she spoke to the Ashted Youth Club leader and convinced him that it would be a good idea, even though we are not strictly speaking for youth. If we support the community, the youth will benefit. And we grappled with things like our mission statement and that sort of thing. And we started off by saying we want to empower people to become more informed about their own health choices. And that, I think, has grown because, yes, we do the therapies, and the open day that very first open day, when you came to an open day, the structure is roughly, we have treatments, motley crew of therapists in the hall, separated by, lovely decorated dividers, and half of it is group sessions, half of it is all the treatments. The reception area, of which there are 2 private rooms, so that's for treatments like kinesiology, where talking is needed and privacy. And then up on the mezzanine, the free talks. And we're still sticking to that format. I think partly because I'm sure when you're all volunteers, nobody gets paid. It's all done for the passion of the mission. And that still, in a couple of weeks' time, that's still the format. But what is amazing, what we never set out to create, was the cohesion of the volunteers and therapists. We have become a little tribe, literally. The amount of love and support amongst us has been phenomenal, and it's just grown. And just recently, one of our members, she's about to move to the Cotswolds, beautiful lady, Cami. Her leaving gift to us is for us to make tiles, and each one of us kind of imprints on the tile what we feel, what is my role as practitioner or volunteer in Waste to Wellness. And the conversations that has sparked, and the sort of inner journeys, it's just lovely. And we're going to take all these tiles, and again, through connections, one of our sound bath lady is a keen artist, and she works at Sutton Art. So, we're going to get them fired. Yes, we'll pay for it, but of course it comes through her, so it's at a better rate, and it's just that connectedness every step of the way. Anyway, so backtrack to the early days. So that first open day, but we were starting from zip. We had a few Greenwise tasters, and then we had Village Day as the day that would be our advertising for the proper launch at the open day. And it was fairly slow and quiet. We did a couple of treatments and so on, but our main mission was to tell people about our intentions, to offer these holistic, natural treatments and education for people to become empowered. And you could just see Ashted, a lot of glazing over. Ashted is a very privileged society, if you like. We're in the heart of Surrey. But what was unbelievably surprising was that we did eke them out. We and our very first open day, we thought we're going to run at a massive loss. And well, we did have a donation, which also helped us start, which for the initial costs, to start with Village Day and to pay for the venue and pay for posters and all kinds of things like that. So without that, we couldn't have started. But without the actual people there, all of it is driven around the passion of the people who were part of it. And some people, we had our initial teething problems where we didn't know how whether we would make enough money to pay practitioners, whether there would be enough people coming in to even take us up on our offerings. But gradually it's grown and grown, and now we have a steady group. And because our activities have expanded, so yes, we still do all the treatments, and we do the groups and the talks. That in its own right has changed. For instance, just to use an example, TRE, at the beginning, we almost had to beg people to go. And now people are starting to get it. Like, oh, wow, that's amazing. The shaking therapy. So people are starting to come. So it's worth sometimes, persevering, even though, you think, oh, and I mean, I know before every open day, I think, oh my goodness, the treatments in fact, it got to the point where we purposefully block treatments, booking wise, because otherwise all the treatments get booked out. Because that's the other thing, is to make treatments accessible. So, it's £20 for half an hour, £40 for a full hour. For treatments that sometimes cost 100 or 80 or 60. So for people who really struggle, this is accessible. And in the early days, we didn't have enough money in the pot to offer concessions or pay it forward. But you see, that's also something that has grown. And over time, we've built a website, we've built our social media, we've got banners, we've got T-shirts, so I think we're a little bit recognizable now locally. And we're starting to get more and more people, and we're starting to have more and more conversations. And that's like a mission accomplished.
And that's exactly why I got so excited when I heard what you were doing, because this is a pure, well, you can't say it's a grassroots movement, because it's not, hundreds of people getting together to create something, but
it's a handful.
It's a handful, and it's so organic. And I think what I
100%.
love about it is that it's a demonstration of leading by example. And I think that's why I love it so much, because in our time, we have this thing about people feeling helpless, feeling like I don't know what to do, or wanting to beat the drum, going, as I always say, awake, awake, fire and hell around you. And it's like, well, no, actually, thank you. Fear, fire, foes, you're just going, where?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that's undefinable in our time, and
Yeah.
shouting at people is clearly not going to work.
No.
It always makes me feel, you think of those preachers who stand on street corners with their banners and their um, Bibles talking about the end of the world is coming. you know, and, it's that it doesn't work for them. It doesn't work for
I
anybody.
want to do it the other way around and say, look
Exactly.
at all this light that we're creating. You
Exactly.
know, that the thing actually that is the absolute antithesis. The one thing that almost everybody notices that the energy is palpable because everybody comes in there with the intention to make their life better. And by doing so, they're making it better for their family, for their community. And as they become more knowledgeable, they realize, oh, choices I've made in the past maybe weren't as beneficial, not just for self, but, for Mother Nature. So that whole, that essence of living in exchange, living in grace, living with gratitude for Mother Earth's gifts, um, for companions, for friends, for people, just a smile along the day. Having that awareness in a day where we are in a world where we're so disconnected. And I think that's what part of what we offer is connection
Exactly.
to our true essence.
Exactly. And it's this notion that we have to wait for everybody to say that they want something for us to do something.
Yeah.
How can people
This
know
is,
to
yeah,
ask for something if they don't know what's possible? And so
exactly.
I think it does take a group to say, okay, let's do something together,
Let's try.
because
Yeah.
what will happen is somebody will want to join.
Yeah.
And if we're able to continue,
Yeah.
somebody else will want to join. And then
Yeah.
it will
And
grow.
then gradually,
And
and
what you have is the makings of a community
yeah,
that begins to evolve. And that's exactly what I meant by saying it's it is grassroots, but not grassroots in the way that we're used to using that term.
yeah,
It's the stimulus to a grassroots. I think that's what this
yeah,
is, that you need people who are going to stimulate
yeah.
the
The ripples.
the ripples, and that's exactly what you've done, and I absolutely love it. Tell us about the work that you're also doing for the homeless.
Okay. So it's not strictly speaking the homeless. Um, so we work with a local shelter called Lime Tree Court, and actually it feels a little bit hypocritical because we haven't worked with them for 6 months because their building was shut. It's just phenomenal. But again, that gave rise to another, learning, evolvement, growing. Yeah, so Lime Tree Court. Um, and I wouldn't even rate that as a fantastic success from Lime Tree Court's perspective. So Lime Tree Court is sheltered accommodation for people over 55 who effectively would have been homeless. But due to COVID, they've changed uh, the way the shelter works. They used to have events there, and well, they had a massive kitchen and a dining room, so people used to get fed. Now they're all cubbied in their little holes, and the energy is quite dark and quite depressive. So we have to prepare ourselves energetically quite well for that. And we have to prepare for not a lot of showing up. But what happens again, and we're going in with the intention that we are just there to raise the vibration of that space. And I mean, as a result, one of the ladies have come to our Reiki shares on a regular basis. And a couple of the carers have come, and a couple of the people who have had something like a Reiki before. So they're a lot less open to new ideas. So if they've had something, they go, oh, right, lovely, thank you. And so for the residents, they get the treatments free of charge. And for the carers, we give them half price concession. But everything always is open to, you just say, if you can't afford it, we've fundraised so much that, yeah, we've got capacity. But anyway, so what happened was, yes, we created the lovely environment there. We put up nice pictures, had tables where people could do, play cards or do a bit of art. And then in the lounge area, we put down the treatment beds and did various things like reflexology and Bowen and so on, and some massages. And gradually, yeah, so over about 3 or 4, the numbers are creeping up slightly, bearing in mind a lot of people who go there to support, the care, not necessarily the carers themselves, but, people who do good in the community. The church is wonderful in that way, in that, there are a lot of caring people who want to help, but they often have a huge mistrust when they see things like an ology on the list. So they're quite a little bit like that. So not that open. And even, the whole impetus for this was a chap who was working with me at Greenrise. And it was through him that we became aware of the existence. I mean, I've driven past this building a gazillion times. It's literally on the A24. So, but it's just slightly set back, and you just assume it was a block of flats or a retirement home. Anyway, so through him, got to know the manager, and then said, what do you think? Is it worth a shot? And she said, well, we can try. And so we did. And what it's become, it's not just treating the people there, the residents or the carers. It's become a place where we get to know each other better as therapists. So our community bond gets stronger because of it. And we do swaps because, if there's nobody coming, well, would you like to try my treatment? And I'll try yours. And so it's been fantastic in that way. So when Lime Tree Court literally on the Friday contacted us to say, terribly sorry, we've just been told the scaffolding's going up because we're getting, the ceilings are being replaced, so you can't come on Tuesday. And I must say, it's quite a phenomenal task to get enough therapists together to create an event. And I thought, shucks, that's a waste. And then I thought, hang on a minute. We do a lot of swaps then. Why don't we do it at my house? And so we did. And so was born, initially we called it Open House. And we took turns to have an event like that. Because the other thing was that people were saying, it's very long from open day to open day, because we have one open day per term. So we literally on a tiki from Friday to Tuesday, I think we ended up with having 20 people, which, it may sound small. It's not small when it's just like that. Yeah. Because the Lime Tree Court is completely in-house. So there's no outsiders, there's no advertising. So literally, people just came. And we had a little sound bath. It was hilariously funny. Lynn was doing her sound bath in the middle, and there were people here in the conservatory, in the kitchen, and in the lounge. So, it was like a star-shaped sundial. It was so funny. But the joy, and that's what I mean. We are real coddywomplers. We go with the flow, and because we're small enough, we can do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just want to backtrack a little bit. So when we started, and Monica and I, we kind of led things, but I say led. I think Monica was a stronger leader than me. I'm less confident as a leader, and I'm better as a inspirer, fellow inspirer. I'm a tribeswoman. But Monica was like we used to call her the bulldog, and B, the moral fiber. And so if there was any question of, because we wouldn't just let any old therapist in, you have to earn your spot, So if people expressed an interest, we'd say, right, do a talk, meet a couple of us, let's see if we gel. But one of the things we had to make sure of was that as a therapist, you're a space holder for somebody who comes in. And of course, the unspoken words of why we were created. Can I speak out frankly?
Well, we are on YouTube, so
right. So I'll try and use my words carefully. So what we wanted to make sure of, that we were a safe space for injured people. So, or people who were kind of going, geez, I had some and I'm not sure, So we wanted to be a non-judgmental place. And even, some of our therapists have had some we've kind of woken up to, oh, actually, this isn't a good idea. And I think as time has gone on, we're less focused on that and more focused on being that safe space for people to come and learn and empower. And if you have an injury, well, let's see how we can help, and let's see how we can explore together. It's not a case of we heal you or we fix you. You don't come to us if you're in need of a fix. If you want to,
And there's, of course, the difference between curing and healing is much deeper than cure. Yeah. And people are always looking for a cure because they want a quick fix, but this is also
and that's
deeper healing, and this is huge. So you have an open house that is coming up, and
no, hang on, sorry, we have an open day.
An open day, yes.
So the open house has changed to in-house.
Yeah.
So we don't market that anymore. And the reason for that being, we've realized that when you energetically open up your house to somebody you don't know at all, it just opens you up to, it makes your safe space vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we've made it, and also the effort that it takes to do all the social media and the marketing. So we only advertise via email, to our regular,
yes.
people who
those are open to practitioners and their private events. What I actually was referring to was your open day,
yes,
which is open to everybody.
Yes, that's the one. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I've got, see, this is the other thing that happens. So when we got our logo going, everybody had a hand in it. And it was quite funny because if you look at our logo, can you see it?
Yes.
It's the hands and the heart. So, really heart-led. The very first Greenwise Tasters was just little hands in the air. And we really liked that idea because we're all putting hands together. We're all working, it's like, it's a nice depiction of that. And then, so the logo then with the heart, because we felt, the heart being all natural, was a good depiction. Things may change over time. We may decide to change that. But the lovely thing is that this even the poster design has changed a lot.
Yeah. Well, do you
Because
know what?
now, sorry,
I was just going to say, I love that it's a very joyous logo. That's
yes.
what I would say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so
So,
you can see this is a little A4 because we do A4s and A5s now.
and
But
people
we
can see
find
from there that it's on the 28th.
28th of February. Yes.
And can you give us the time, please, Elsha?
11 is starting at 11 o'clock. Actually, let me just take one of the big posters because that's easier to see.
So 11 o'clock, so 11 to 5 p.m., people can
Yeah.
come in and experience lots of wonderful treatments. Now, I see that there are workshops listed on there. So, what classes and workshops have you got?
Okay. So, one of our newer members is a fantastic art teacher, Izzy Farina. So she is doing a creative flower vase. So effectively layering. So you'll create flowers and the vase all in abstract form, very sort of inner child, free format, no art experience required. All the materials get supplied. So I think, a very joyous workshop. And what we've decided this time is to single stream because we've had too many complaints, not complaints, but, oh no, I wanted to do both. So we've decided, okay, we won't compete anymore because also we have our practitioners and that's what has changed over time, where practitioners are now saying, well, hang on a minute, I would like to go and attend that talk or do a workshop. So the internal engine, is also at work here. So single streaming, so either talk or workshop. So the other workshop is the TRE, which is the trauma release exercise, which is phenomenal. It works. I mean, because of
You know,
Charlotte's.
Charlotte, our healing hub is also um, hosting TRE sessions online for community assembly members. It is for community assembly members only, but
Yeah,
extraordinary, those exercises. So
absolutely.
anybody attending or anybody in Surrey should be heading there on the 28th and go straight to that TRE workshop because
Absolutely, yeah. So
it's
that's 3 o'clock.
amazing way of reducing stress. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
because
body will love you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's absolutely it supports the vagus nerve, it reduces the cortisol, and it is just such a natural, almost instinctive process. It's what animals do. It's what a deer does when it
It's
shivers after
allowing
a
your body
run.
to do the very thing it wants to do, but doesn't know that it can do. So,
Yes, exactly, because we get in the way.
yeah, because we
And
get
that's, Charlotte's, emphasis on the safety is absolutely wonderful. But anyways, yeah. And then we have the wonderful closing ceremony, which is a sound bar. So those are the three sort of paying workshops. And then in between, we've got a couple of talks. Because you've done a wonderful talk.
it's
And
lovely, friendly place.
fellow cabby members are coming, the Crystal Water Experience ladies, the
Something
dynamic
else
duo.
that you do not want to miss, I promise you, is the crystal water experience with our
Absolutely.
wonderful members, community assembly members, Kelly and Joe, and just
It
look them
is
up.
phenomenal. Yeah.
They're extraordinary. So this is a day to put in your diary. It is a day you
Absolutely.
do not want to miss if you are in Surrey. And if
Yeah.
you're not in Surrey, hey, why not? Come and
Come. We're close to the station, so easy to get to us.
and it is in Ashted as well. So yes, for more information, we will make sure that the link is in the description box.
Okay,
I
wonderful.
want to thank you so very much for your
Thank you. I
time.
feel like I haven't said loads, but you know,
We can't.
that's time.
There's
Yeah,
always so much to say,
yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I so enjoy your company. So thank you again. There will be, as I say, a link in the description box for Waste to Wellness so that you can attend this amazing open day with such fantastic workshops and classes that you
Yeah,
can experience, as well as different treatments that you can discover or
yeah.
revisit. So it's there. In the description box, you will also find the website for Community Assembly of British Isles. If you are already a
Wonderful.
member but have not yet started something, an assembly of your own, just find two friends, because three is great company to create something new. And as you saw here today, as speaking to Elsje, that's all it takes is a group getting together and saying, what would it be like
Absolutely.
if we did this? And
Yeah,
then embracing that spirit of exploration, and
yeah.
it will grow. And we need
Absolutely.
that. We need that if we are to
And
create
the
that
groups feed each other.
society.
Through Cabby, we've met so many people who have,
Exactly.
done talks and got
So,
involved. So
so
yeah,
it is important that
cross-pollination.
you trust the organic process, because it is by starting something that we grow, and we grow together. And we need that if we're going to create the society that so many of us are dreaming. It's up to you. Let's
We're
get
dreaming it into life.
and make that dream a reality. Until next time,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.